Hi, it's Ike from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today's book is Leprechauns on the Loose, an adventure in Ireland for 1991. So let's get started. Yes, sir, Donald said to Daisy as he happily packed his suitcase. A vacation in Ireland is just what I need to turn my luck around. I'll catch a leprechaun, and then I'll be rich, and all my trouble will be over. Now, Donald, said Daisy in a firm voice, you and I both know there's no such thing as a leprechaun. I don't want you spending our whole vacation looking for something that doesn't exist. Donald just snugged and gave the room one last look to make sure that he wasn't forgetting anything. He didn't realize that he was taking along two extra passengers, Chip and Dale, hoping for an adventure of their own, had made himself comfortable in Donald's carry-on bag. Dino and Daisy called a taxi and left for the airport. When they finally seated on the plane, Dino introduced himself to a man beside him. It's lovely to meet you, said the man. My name is Paddy O'Shea. What a name like that. You must be from Ireland, said Donald. Do you know if it's true that if you catch a leprechaun, he must tell you where he had hidden his gold? With that, Paddy let out a roar of laughter. Don't tell me that you believe in the little people, he said. As a matter of fact, I do, said Donald, confidently, and that's why I'm going to Ireland. In that case, said Paddy, you want to hear everything there is to know about the subject, Paddy told Donald, one leprechaun tale after another. By the time the airplane landed at Shannon Airport, they had become good friends. Instead of staying in the hotel, why don't you both come home with me? Paddy asked Donald and Daisy. My wife just loves to have company. I'll give her a call and let her know you're coming. Daisy and Donald piled into Paddy's car and headed toward Paddy's house. Now I see why they call Ireland the Emperor Island, said Daisy, as she stared through the window at the lovely green landscape. Everything is exactly the same color as an Ambro Jew. Paddy's wife greeted them at the door and introduced her daughter, Erin, led them to the dining table for a meal of Irish stew and soda bread. You know, said Paddy, I raise horses for a living, and I'm taking a trip this week to look for a new mare. Why don't you two come along? That way I can show you the sights. Great idea, said Dino. We couldn't find a better guide, Daisy agreed. While the other was eating, Chip and Dale hopped out of Dino's bag and went off to do some exploring in baby Erin's room. They found some doll clothes that were just their size. The next morning, Chip and Dale hopped into Paddy's car as they left with Dino and Daisy. Paddy drove to the Bunratty Vitters, where Dino and Daisy went on a tour of the town. After a long day, they met Paddy for dinner at Bunratty Castle. There they was served by people who was wearing historic costumes. Dino accidentally dropped his dinner roll under the table. Where he bent down to pick up it, he saw an amazing sight. Leprechauns, he shouted. Dino began crawling under the table, chasing the little elf. All the dinner guests held their plate as Dino scrambled frantically through the dining hall. By the time he returned to his place, all the food was cold. I hope I didn't cause too much trouble, Donald said, his face turning bright red. The next day, Patty took them to the pony show in the country. This is a fine-looking animal, said Patty, and he inspected a shiny black horse. Just that, wait, just at that moment, Donald spied a little leprechaun darting by the horse hooves. I'll catch you this time, Donald cried. The horse began to bob its head and stomp its feet. In alarm, Donald searched high and low, but he returned to Patty and Daisy empty-handed. Don't tell me, said Patty, laughing at Donald. The little people are up to their tricks again. Oh, Donald, groaned Daisy, rolling her eyes. Hadn't you learnt your lesson yet? Donald just muttered to himself. Those leprechauns won't get away from me next time, he vowed. Then everyone will see I'm not imagining these things. Later, Patty took Donald and Daisy to a gift shop. Ireland is known for its beautiful glass and hand-knit shutters, said Daisy, turning to Donald. Let's buy one of these crystal vases as a present for Grandma Duck. But Donald wasn't listening. He thought he saw a flash of green amongst the crystal. Did you see something over there? He asked Daisy excitedly. Not here, warned Daisy under her breath. This is no place to start trouble. You could break something. Don't worry, said Donald, confident. Very, very carefully, Donald looked into the vase and behind glasses, but there was not a leprechaun in sight. The next day, Patty took Daisy and Donald on a side trip to the place called Sharehead. This looks like a great place to catch leprechauns, thought Donald. This time he had brought along a large butterfly net, just in case any little people showed up. What are them building over there? Asked Daisy. Those are ancient homes, well over 1,000 years old, said Patty. They are called beehive hunts. But Donald wasn't paying any attention. He was too busy looking behind every beehive hunt for leprechauns. Afterward, Patty took Donald and Daisy to look at the famous stone. It says here that if you kiss the stone, you'll be able to convince anyone of anything, read Daisy from her guidebook. I'll go first, Donald suggested. Maybe then I'll believe. Maybe then they believe me when I say I have seen a leprechaun, he said to himself as he tried to reach the stone. He caught a glimpse of a little green cap. Leprechaun, shouted Donald, struggling to get up. Your eyes are playing tricks on you, my boy, said Patty. I saw two leprechauns, I tell you, Donald insists. I think you had better try to kiss the stone, said Daisy, laughing. You still hadn't convinced me. Next, Patty and Daisy went to look at a horse while Donald went fishing in a nearby lake. Chip and Dale followed Donald to the lake and hopped in, wait, and hopped in to splash and play. Donald cast his line into the water and immediately felt a tug. When Donald excitedly reeled in the line, the only thing he had caught was a little green cap. Oh boy, this definitely belonged to a leprechaun, Donald said happily. I'll finally have my proof. Now everyone will have to believe me. Donald set the cap down while he got his gear together. he couldn't wait to show his catch. But while his back was turned, Dale grabbed the cap. Donald turned around just in time to see the leprechaun run away. "Oh no, there were two of them right under my nose," said Donald, stamping his feet. And and I'll let them get away. Soon Patty and Davy drove back to pick him up. Patty stopped the car along a country line just outside of. "How about a picnic lunch?" he asked. "What a beautiful spot," exclaimed Daisy as she picked a shamrock. For Donald, the picnic offered another opportunity to catch the leprechauns, and off he went to see some traps. Donald had just finished setting the last trap when he heard a strange rushing sound. "I have got myself a leprechaun now," he said happily. As Donald walked toward the sound, he tripped over a log and landed in one of his own traps. In a flash, Donald was hanging upside down from a tree. "Whoops!" Donald cried out. Patty and Daisy ran over to help Donald. Below him, a sheep bleated loudly. "Some leprechaun you are," Donald muttered to the sheep. Finally, in a country lambrick, Patty found the horse he'd been looking for, a beautiful mare with a flowing mare, a mane. Patty told Donald and Daisy that they was in the part of Ireland for which the lambrick, a type of nonsense poetry, had been named. "In fact, I just made one up for you," he said, turning to Donald. "It goes like this. There once was a fine feathered gin who saw leprechauns whenever he went. He spied them in the stable and underneath the table. He saw them at every event." Donald just smiled politely while Daisy chuckled. "Just wait," he said to himself. "I'll catch a leprechaun yet." The group arrived back at Patty's house late in the day. "It looks like your trip was a great success," said when she saw Patty leading his horse to the stable. "We saw some beautiful sights," said Daisy. "Ireland is a lovely country. I'm sorry that your search didn't go as well, Donald," said Patty with a chuckle. "Maybe I didn't catch a leprechaun," muttered Donald, "but at least I know for sure that they exist." When Donald and Daisy arrived back in the United States, Mickey was at the airport to greet them. "How was your trip?" he asked. "It was wonderful," replied Daisy, "but Donald wasted all his time chasing leprechauns." Donald didn't even hear Daisy. He was staring straight ahead. He couldn't believe his eyes. Those were the leprechauns again. This time everyone saw the leprechauns. Mickey dashed around some luggage and caught them. "Are these your wee folks?" Mickey asked, holding up Chip and Dale. "Yes," muttered Donald sheepishly. "I guess this means I do not get my pot of gold." "How about a pot of acorn?" asked Mickey. Everyone roared with laughter. Even Donald couldn't help but smile. So that was Leprechaun on the Loose, an adventure in Ireland from 1991. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, and have a groovy day. We'll have another video coming out real soon.